Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. That means we're going to talk about Pop and Bravo. And I've got my two new friends here. It's Christine and Stacy from the podcast Keanan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu, where they discuss the show step by step. You guys, they're not just fans, they were on the show. They're the stars of the show. That's right.
We were.
Fun.
There we
How
were.
fun.
Oh my gosh. Mary Payne, thank you so much for having us. I am an old school bunkie. I like to think pretty much from day one.
Yeah.
So it is beyond a thrill, beyond an honor to be on. I can't. I'll never really get over it.
You're so funny, and that's just like the craziest thing ever. And Keisha is a huge fan, and she's had you guys on her show.
Oh yeah, Stacy has done her show too. Libra Lounge.
Yes,
that's right. I love Keisha. I love Kimberly and Katie, but I can't help but I'm just always a little jealous, Mary Payne, that you're like better friends with them than with me and with us. So I listen. I'm a member of the Patreon, of course.
Stop
Amy
it.
Arthur, all of the friends. I'm a little jealous. So every time we get to come on, I'm like, well, maybe we'll be better friends after this.
Listen, if you give me your number, I'll just start texting you random stuff, and that's how we become friends.
Please, please, can we do that? Yes, I would love it.
Yes, I'm going to BravoCon, and I'm going to be giving all my Bravo hot takes. We're going to try to do one every day. Last time we were just doing like man on the street. We just have our phone and be like, okay, here's what happened. And then I would talk and give the phone to Ingrid. And then at the end of the day, I would send her the audio clips that we just did on the phone, and she would make it into like a daily show. We had so much fun doing that.
Who were you most excited about seeing at BravoCon?
You mean last time or this coming time?
This coming time.
This coming time, I think I'm very excited and hopeful to meet Marisol from Miami, Marisol Patton. So I've become friendly with Miguel Luciano, who was on a few weeks ago. So he has that great Instagram account where he imitates all the housewives. And he's just like a dude with a beard. And for some reason it works. He's an acting coach. So, he's one of your ilk actors. And he's so funny, but he has become very close with Marisol. And I'm like, can we make it happen? Can you help me meet her? He promises he will. So
amazing.
See, fingers crossed. I love her. She's my jam.
Oh my God. Well, what are you wearing? What do you wear for an event like this?
Well, I think so this is my third one. The one in New York was different because it was in New York. So it was very much like jeans and you had to have like a light jacket. It was a different vibe. The Vegas is freaking hot. And so I'm going to wear all 3 days to BravoCon itself. I'm wearing just like a short black dress and I have a hot pink little crossbody bag. And that's it. Because you got to travel light. You got to have your tennis shoes. It's a lot of walking.
Oh yeah.
Smart little capsule wardrobe. And what I think is always so hard about Vegas is that it is 115 outside.
Yeah.
And then they have it air conditioned to 55 inside. So you need a parka when you go in and you go out and you just melt. It's very, very challenging. And then the walking, everything is huge. Everything is really far.
Yes.
So if you want to wear cute shoes, forget about that. I just feel like Vegas is a real challenge look-wise.
How do you guys feel about Vegas in general?
I kind of have a love-hate with Vegas. There's times I've gone and just been like, ugh, this place is the worst. And then there's other times I've gone, like I went in the spring and went to the Sphere and never left the Venetian, the cold, amazing, air-conditioned, lovely suite of the Venetian, and had a delicious dinner and walked to the Sphere and walked back. And it was amazing. It was so easy. That's kind of the Vegas I like.
Well, the last time we went to the Sphere, we've been twice now for dead shows. And my husband's like, and we're walking back to the hotel. I'm like, I just want to die. I'm just like, my back hurts, my legs hurt. I'm sweating from every section of my body. And he's like, this way, we're walking. If you can see this, so-and-so, if you can see the Eiffel Tower, we're almost there. I'm like, oh my God. I just really, really hate Vegas. And I shouldn't hate it as much as I do. I know people live there, but nobody lives like in the Vegas that you go to when you go. Do you mean nobody lives there?
No one's living like with the yardstick of beers. Let's hope not. No.
True. And the girls handing out pictures of themselves and you're like, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to hate it. I thought it was depressing. I
Yes.
just hated the whole concept. And then I had a friend who just said, you just have to appreciate it for exactly what it is. And just embrace what it is and don't desire for it to be anything other than what it is. Go for
Okay.
a short time and ever since then I have adopted that and I freaking love it. I love
Okay.
it now. And I think if you focus, I mean, you have BravoCon, which is going to be so fun, but then all the food, there's so much good food now,
The food
you
is
know?
amazing. The
It's
Okay.
restaurants are
Yeah.
so good.
We have gone to that Martha Stewart restaurant twice. And I will say both times one of the best meals I've ever had, and also so expensive, and also the best white Cosmo in the world.
Hmm.
So
What do
Martha
they make that
Stewart,
with? Like
Cosmo.
a white cranberry?
it's a white cranberry.
Hmm.
And the guy last time gave me the recipe, and I tried to make it for my friends. I had my friends over, and I go, "You guys, I'm going to make you guys the best drink ever." Blah blah blah, and only one of them liked it. And I was like, "Oh, more for me." You know,
Sounds
Oh,
delicious.
so
what
good,
else
just
did you
ice
have?
cold. They bring out this bread basket that you just wouldn't even. I'll send you a picture once we become texting friends. I'll send you a picture. And we had steak, and it's just the experience of it because it's the exact furniture, that exact replica of Martha's home at Bedford, New York, and it's all muted tones, and it's exactly like what she cooks with in her kitchen, and then the certain flowers. It's just all very, anal retentive type A, and I can handle it for a meal. Yeah, it's good.
Right.
Ah,
Right.
see, that's Vegas. It's the theater of it. Where else are you
Hmm.
going to get something like that? It's so ridiculous. It's so over the top. It's so perfect.
It's her
Just
only
like
restaurant she
Vegas.
has in the world is there. And it's tiny. It's probably as big as the top floor of my house. It's a tiny restaurant. And
Wow.
so I love that. So yeah, we're going to see Watch What Happens Live 1 or 2 nights, unclear. Got to look at the schedule. And we're going to 2 of those Bravo Paloozas where you go into the small rooms and you get 2 free drinks and they have past apps and you just mingle with the Bravo Lebs. And that
Oh,
is
wow.
expensive, but that is how like you kind of like get somebody to, will you come on my show when and we hand out a personal fan and people, everybody loves that. Ladies of a certain age, we love to get a fan.
I love a
Yeah.
fan.
Oh,
I love a
Hmm.
fan.
God.
Hmm.
So wait, so which housewife of Salt Lake City are you most dying to see?
Well, Mary Cosby, of course.
Oh,
Um, I don't think she will give me the time of day. Maybe she'll insult me and then I'll be honored. I'm not sure.
what?
I've met Lisa Barlow. No, scratch. Met Meredith Marks and Brooks last time. Gave them a personal fan. Super nice. Met Heather Gay and Angie. We hung out with in the airport. Like literally, Heather Gay rode the tram with us in the airport because she was lost and Angie and her husband had left her. So we're like, we'll go with us. Um, Otherwise, don't really care about meeting Brittany Bateman. I'm sorry. I'll just jump on that train. Bronwyn, I think, is very interesting. Maybe I'd like to meet Bronwyn.
Bronwyn would be my pick, aside from Mary, who I think is so sweet. She's such a doll. I can't
Are
imagine
you
her
watching
being.
the same show?
Yes.
Have you
Mary
watched it
is
for
such a
seasons?
bitch. Mary is
Well,
so like she will cut you down so quick.
yes.
She is like, but I do enjoy her. I think she's really funny, although I don't think she's trying to be.
No, I think she's just so blunt,
Yeah.
and I like it. I like Mary. I think that if you watch Miguel, like I was just talking about, the way he takes just like Mary Cosby as a kindergarten teacher, and he'll be like, I don't know who told you that coloring was good. It's not, that kind of thing. And that's how she is. Yeah. Okay. So I told you guys we're going to talk about Bravo today. So you have to watch Salt Lake City because you're like, we watched Below Deck. I was like, boo, let's talk about Salt Lake City. So both of you have caught up. Is this correct?
Yes,
Yes.
but I haven't
Okay.
watched the earlier season. So I am basing Mary on this current season, wherein I think she's the nicest one of all of them.
Okay. Well, going back a little bit.
No.
And then just do a light Google on Mary's church and what happened with her. You could go listen to the Bravo docket ladies talk about the lawsuits between her and her mom. It's RIP. So yeah, it's not always been great with old Mare, but she's always been hilarious. Always been hilarious. I mean, there's been seasons, Stacy, where they'll be like, Mary, do you want to come sit by us? She's like, no.
No.
Why would I want to sit over there? I'm like, okay. Or sometimes she's like, I'm not participating, and just go sit in the production van and go, if you want to find me, I'll be in the production van. Yeah. I don't want to do anything. You ladies are disgusting.
I mean, I appreciate the integrity of it, I gotta say, especially just purely based on this season. I get it, and I love the integrity.
Okay. All right. We'll call it that. So listen, this is a very good season so far. And the fact that you guys were like, we only watched Below Deck, and this episode was a Below Deck crossover meant to be.
I mean, I was in my element. I was so excited about the fact that, like, when I was watching this last night, I was like, it's like everything I love coming together. It's all my favorite people, Daisy and, and the captain, and then like all these like crazy ladies. I have never seen an episode of Below Deck that was so off the rails, quite frankly.
Okay, but that then they're going to show the Below Deck episode that's going to be the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. I've only watched seasons that have Captain Sandy, Captain Lee, of course, and I've never watched it. I only know about Captain Jason for the Bravo lore of like he bangs everybody, right? That's the only like that he does. Like, and Heather Gay like admitted it on the show.
She did admit it. She admitted that they had like a moment. She didn't really say exactly what they did, but
hooked up, and then I love the cancel after the fact.
She's like
going straight to camera and just go, oh well, no, just delete that. Like
I didn't say that.
No, well, we have it on tape, girl.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this crew since I'm not familiar. Now, Joao, I recognized because he was on a season that I watched somewhere at some point.
I think he was on a Captain Sandy season.
I think he was
with Daisy.
And now, see, Daisy, I didn't recognize. And who was the guy with the hair, with the black hair? What was happening with that guy's hair? Mike? Was his name Mike?
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Beard?
He had a neck tattoo.
He's a new one. I think he's just floating on this season. New people come in all the time. Not everybody stays around.
He had an Australian accent.
Fired.
But he had his.
No.
It was like a Donald Trump, but black hair. He's young.
Yeah. I think he's a deckhand. But I think this is the first time I'd ever seen him. I don't know because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that Below Deck season. But but the chef was back. I mean, you've seen him before.
Yes.
He's been around forever. Ben, yes.
He is a salty dog.
I love Ben.
I love him too. I love how he came out there and he was like, fuck this. He's like, they're not going to.
Waiting to say hello. I mean, this is a 5-star, it's supposed to be a 5-star experience where the chef comes out, changes his coat.
Yes.
Everyone says, oh, thank you so much, and gives the feedback on the food. He's literally standing there waiting for them to shut up. And they're all just at each other. He finally goes, fuck this, and walks inside. I mean, it was amazing.
I felt so bad for that entire crew. I think it was Daisy, right? Standing there, and she's just kind of
horrified,
agog.
I mean,
what do? You're bringing food out, and you're like, stop swinging your arm for a minute, so I can. And they're like, they flinging food at each other, and I'm like, oh my god.
And then the poor dude has to show up with the shop vac, and he's
hilarious.
Trying to vacuum up the drinks that they throw on each other
hilarious.
Wow,
that was
off
perfect.
The rails. It was absolutely off the rails. And now, I mean, I feel like Angie getting sick and Mary not being there. If Mary had been there, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, because she's not a huge Lisa fan. She's not a huge Lisa fan.
No,
Mary.
But I feel like she would have just like fueled that fire even more. I mean, do you think this is going to change everything moving forward? It will. They're all against her, Lisa.
I kind of found what was interesting was Heather's sort of internal dilemma of, I've turned against my friend. And I think she's always thought Lisa is the cool girl that would never be friends with me. And if you go back from season 1, Stacy, you'll see that Heather has always wanted the other girls, like the cooler girls, to be friends with her. And immediately, like in the first season, they're like, we heard you were a good time girl. And Heather's like, what? And then, she came from this, or her husband's family came from this like very well-known Mormon family. So she sort of married into Mormon royalty. And then of course now she's bad Mormon, all this. She's always wanted their approval. And for her to like stand up and be like, Lisa, we all know you're doing it is really big. And she had such a moral dilemma that she came in there and was like, she was trying to really talk to Angie, but Mary was chiming in. She's like, okay, I feel strong. Okay. Because she was like going to go and apologize to Lisa and tell her like she didn't believe any of it when she believed all of it.
Well, they're all scared of her. I mean, it's why she tried to get Meredith on her side, because Meredith is like the linchpin to Lisa. But she's done the same damn thing to Meredith. She did it to Meredith 2 seasons ago, and they weren't friends for a very long time. I mean, I 100% believe, I think Lisa is a snake. I think she is a snake. I think she talks bad about everyone behind their back. I think she plants stories. And I think she's always done that. She's a liar.
She talks about her private investigator that she has and all that. And like, if you're going to talk about it, then people are going to assume you're investigating them.
I mean, the lady doth protest too much. Literally,
Hilarious.
you know, Brittany and sorry, who else was it?
Whitney.
Yeah, they were both like just asking the questions at the lunch table, and she's the first one to all of a sudden get so defensive. No one was even accusing her.
Right. Who brought the cucumber? And why?
Think anyone brought that cucumber. I think that was a plant. I think some production person thought it was really funny. Not for nothing. Okay, look, I was an exchange student in the Caribbean. I've actually been to Canawan, but I was shocked to see it now. It was not built up back a million years ago.
Oh, it looked beautiful.
It's pretty. I mean, the water is gorgeous, but yeah, it didn't used to be built up like that. But did you see the size of that cucumber?
Yeah.
It was very short and very fat. Now, where are you getting that here? Where in Salt Lake City? It looked homegrown. It looked to me like something that was purchased in the Caribbean.
Question: you can't bring fruits and vegetables in and out. Like, you know, like when you leave Puerto Rico, they put your bags through a special thing to make sure you're not bringing any fruits and vegetables and seeds. And you're like, you got to go through a separate screening for that. So can you bring a cucumber into another country?
You're not supposed to. I mean, things slip in the cracks, but
yeah, I think
that's weird.
And I don't think people are checking the bags like leaving the U.S. and coming into the Caribbean as much, perhaps.
Right,
but
right.
Like a totally local vegetable. That is my theory.
Okay.
And I do think production planted it just to see, is someone going to find this when they're unpacking and, make a thing of it? And then they of course, they grabbed onto it and they ran with it. But I mean, it's ironic to hear that Heather is the one who's, wants to be cool or wants to be in with these ladies. I think Heather is the coolest one of them all. She's the most relaxed. I feel like she's the most truly herself. She seems the least scared of everyone. But I do find Bronwyn completely fascinating. I thought it was fascinating that at the dinner, when, by the way, I love her looks. Yeah. I love the dresses. And when she showed up on that boat in that bee outfit, and multiple ones of those ladies said, "Is this fashion or is it costume?"
Because you don't know that she also wears costumes. She also goes and greets her husband at the airport like in a full dinosaur costume. But then she also does high fashion and says things like, Christian Dior only made 3 of these jackets, but you could go right now on eBay and find 44 of them. So like she does a lot of high fashion, and she's very close with Christian Siriano. Like he's come as her guest to watch What Happens Live. So she is into high fashion, but she also does enjoy like an alligator costume at the airport.
That was not an alligator costume. That was clearly fashion. It was clearly couture. I was freaking outraged. I'm still not over it. I was mad for the entire, she just kind of let it wash over her. Because
it was a stupid outfit. Now, come on now.
I don't care.
Okay.
It was the drama, the effort, the fun, the theater of it that I just love. And I love that she does it. Anyhow, getting back to my point here.
Okay.
So at the dinner, when Bronwyn stirs up all this stuff and is talking about what Brittany said about Meredith and and then when Heather brings up the thing about, well, Lisa, did you plant these stories? Bronwyn's like this. When Bronwyn 100% thinks that she did, she's
the one who said it in the beginning.
Right. She's shocked that Heather is confronting Lisa is what she's shocked about.
Yeah.
I could see that, but she also just looked, instead of just being like, "All right, well now you're bringing it up. So what, Lisa? What's up?" She was like, oh, "What?" Like she stayed shocked for a long time, is what I'm saying. So I don't know. She's fascinating, but that backless dress, the strong sleeve, I love a strong sleeve.
Oh, she looks amazing. I love that dress.
She listen, all of them just bebopping around in their bikinis is just like, okay. Now I have a question. So you guys know that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City just redid the iconic Entertainment Weekly cover with Desperate Housewives. Okay,
Yes.
So so they just redid it in their own way, and Mary's just back there standing in a dress. They're all in bathing suits, and Mary's in a dress, just a dress and hose and sensible heels.
Yeah, she wasn't going to do that.
I have a theory about Mary that I couldn't sleep last night thinking about, because this is what my brain does when I try to go to sleep. Mary has mentioned, or it was mentioned in one of the earlier seasons. Now, Stacy, when you go back, you can remind us, because I can't remember now, because my brain, things just go in and they go out. Okay. Mary mentioned on one of the earlier seasons that she had to spend like 2 years in New York when she first married her step-grandfather. She had to spend 2 years in New York because she had to get all of her odor glands removed. You remember that, Christine?
Yes.
She had to get all of her odor glands removed. Unclear. But many people thought while she was there, she also had head to toe skin lightening done. Okay. That was the rumor. And she has said she had something wrong with her skin. I would like for you to notice you have never, ever seen Mary's legs or arms. She's always in long sleeves, long pants. Every picture she has hose on. Now, sometimes they're an ironic hose, like a red hose with a yellow heel to be fashionable or whatever. But you've never seen her arms or her legs. So I have a theory that the reason she's on this trip is she's always in a caftan. And listen, I'm not getting a bathing suit either. Like, I'm not doing it. I also am going to be in a caftan, so I get it. But everything she wears is going to be fully covered to the wrist, to the ankle.
You make a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, I guess I just kind of took it in stride because she seems religious. I thought maybe that was a conservative sort of religious sort of modesty thing, that she's not gonna, show a lot of skin, but maybe not.
If somebody knows the answer, I'd love to know, because she's endlessly fascinating.
Oh, she is. I have a question. Okay, so all this stuff that came out about Bronwyn, 20 years ago, she says it's nothing. She didn't pay her rent or whatever. And someone is dredging the stuff up to make her look bad. But then there's this other thing that was coming out about like fraud and the penal code. But I was just grouped into it, but I didn't have, right. She was like, there was never a mugshot. I was never arrested. But, once again, it had nothing to do with me. It was like this. Someone was being investigated at my business or at where I worked. That's what she said. Stacy, you're a lawyer. Let's get into it. So tell me, what is this penal code? What could it possibly be if you're not charged, but you're grouped involved, but the case is sealed? What does this mean?
I was wondering exactly the same thing. I want, the eviction thing, who cares? You got evicted when you're 19.
Right.
Who cares? That is just a big nothing, right? The other thing, I felt like I was going crazy because I'm listening going, wait, is this a conviction? Is it an arrest? What is it? It made sense to me what Bronwyn said, that different crimes can fall under the same statute, but different subdivisions. That makes perfect sense. We have that in the California Penal Code as well, where subdivision A could be grand theft and B could be identity theft, where, the whole statute is maybe theft, right? And then you have different variations of it underneath. That made sense. But then I still don't get what it is. Yeah. Was she charged, but then the case was dismissed? What was it? Was she convicted and then she had it sealed? When she said sealed, to me, at least, again, I'm only a California lawyer. I don't practice anywhere else. But to me, when she said sealed, it sounded like a conviction. Just because that's what you generally get sealed is a conviction. You can go back to court and try to get it sealed. Now you can try to get,
And let me ask you this. Why do people do that? Why do people get things sealed? Like, we're having this issue. I mean, in my world, in 90 Day Fiance, like Gino and Jasmine are divorced or getting a divorce, and that has been sealed and confidential. And you're like, so why? Why does that get to be sealed and confidential and you can't file a FOIA or try to get it or whatever? What does it mean?
I mean, in California, you can go to court and seek for your conviction or whatever to be sealed. I mean, now California has laws that not every state has. Here, employers, as far as I know, don't find out about felony convictions anymore generally.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty recent law that was passed here, as far as I know. But so, yeah, you can go back and seek to get it sealed because you don't want those convictions coming up. You want to hide those. If you're a juvenile and you get, here we don't say juveniles are convicted, but they're adjudicated to have committed a crime, those automatically get sealed. So you could have a juvenile, a really serious crime, and it would just automatically get sealed in California. So I don't know, man. I don't know what went on there. It sure seems like a conviction, but
if someone wanted their conviction sealed, it's because they don't want it getting out, correct? That's right. The whole point. Yep. So that you can't do any research on it. And just like when they were asking her about it, like, just tell us what you did. Like, tell us, what is it about? She was like, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. So she made it sound like she was under some kind of legal obligation to not discuss it. But maybe she's not. She's
just saying it's sealed, so I can't talk about it.
Right.
But if it's about her, you can say what you want.
Sealed, yeah. So therefore, I don't wish to speak about it. Or maybe it had to do with a minor. I don't know, and that's why it was sealed. Her child or something. I don't know.
It's identity theft, is my understanding.
Yeah, it sounded to me like she was basically taking the fifth without using those words. That when she was saying, I can't talk about it, she was trying to, I think, make it seem like there was, but there is no legal reason. If it's a criminal thing, who are you having a contract with saying that you're not going to speak about it? No one, you're just,
Todd.
I think she was just saying, I don't know.
Granddad. Maybe. Have you ever seen a more humorless
my God
in your life?
Why are they together? How long have they been together, and why? He seems miserable.
He was miserable last season, and I thought, okay, well, that's it. He came to the reunion and acted fairly normal. And I was like, okay, next season, either he'll be trying to turn his reputation. I'm a fun guy whose wife goes to the airport dressed like Little Bo Peep. Like, I'm fun. But no, he just went right back to being grumpy old man that everybody hates.
Do they have a large age gap?
Yeah, I want to say 40 years.
When they were eating that ice cream, I just thought, girl, he doesn't like you.
Not at all.
He seemed like he was ready to strangle her. And they're here having this super wholesome, they're eating these ice cream sundaes. And I just thought, this is dark, because this man, he was beyond annoyed or frustrated. He just seemed like, I don't like this bitch.
He's like, I don't like this. I don't like these cameras. I don't like Lisa Barlow. Why would you, you're stupid for being on the show. You're stupid for wanting to hang out. When he says, why would you want to hang out with, what he means is, why do you want to be on the show? And she's like, well, I'd like to get my own pot of money so I can divorce you, which is a housewife trope for years and years in the past, right? Just get enough money so you can leave your husband, which is what we're all hoping she's doing. And we will start a GoFundMe so that she can. God. He's awful. Okay, now this leads me to my next question. Legally, we can get back to Salt Lake City, but legally, since we're on the legal talk, do you know about Wendy from the Real Housewives of Potomac and what she's being charged with, Stacy?
No,
do you know, Christine?
No.
Okay.
Why are these people, all these housewives, keep getting charged with crap? Why are they all so shady?
Why are they dumb? And this is also one of the dumbest crimes ever. I did hear Vicki Gunvalson on Carlos King's podcast talking about this, because this is an insurance fraud. And Vicki Gunvalson, of course, real OG of OC, owns Coto Insurance, and she's very into insurance. So she had a lot of insight into this. So Real Housewives of Potomac, my area here, Wendy Osefo and her husband were arrested on 18 felony counts. I think she was 14, he was 18. Felony counts of insurance fraud. They had they went on vacation. They said they went to Jamaica and came back. Their house was broken into. they said like 24 items were missing. Now, Vicky said that's a first red flag, is if you itemize 24 items on your insurance, that's a first red flag. Because normally you would just be like jewelry up to $1 million, other luxury items up to this, but that they individualized so many pieces on 3 different insurance policies, a jewelry policy, a homeowner's policy, and a third policy. So then what they did was they said it was all stolen. And they had receipts from every single item, like from 2018, receipts of like a Prada belt or whatever, everything. Then, so they claimed it on 3 different insurances, which you can't do if you don't tell the other insurances that you did that. So they're trying to get it 3 times. Uh-oh. Then the cops went over to sort of investigate the scene and were like, so they came in through this bathroom window. They've got Ring cameras all around their house that caught nobody. There's never once ever in this neighborhood been any theft from anyone. And her parents live down the street. And you've got 24 items that are missing, and they came in through this upstairs bathroom window, which was just like cracked open. And then like some drawers had some things thrown out of them, and that was it. And so the cops went up on the roof and walked on the roof to kind of see, how could you get up there? How could you do it? And they tracked in a lot of what they called roof debris when they came in. But when they went into the room initially, there's no roof debris. So nobody walked on that roof and came in that way. They figured out like it couldn't have been done the way they said it. Plus there's like 4 Ring cameras that caught nothing, and no neighborhood Ring camera caught anything. And there's never been a theft in that neighborhood. So they got busted for insurance fraud. And Stacy, you'll love this. Eddie, the husband, is a lawyer. And he wrote an email to his wife saying, hey, make sure, do you have any other items we can add? Because we're trying to get to the maximum $425 that the insurance will pay out. Do you have any more items you forgot to list? Then she got photographed wearing a ring that she had claimed.
Oh no.
On a red carpet. No. And it was a ring. Then in addition to that, they went and looked, they did the forensic accounting and found out all this stuff that they were claiming that they had receipts that they bought, they had all returned. So they were triple dipping. They had done the insurance and returned the items and were claiming to get the money back because they had the receipts for when they bought them, but they didn't show the receipts for when they returned them. They like went to the stores and were like, hey, can you look up in your Louis Vuitton system? They're like, oh yeah, she bought this first, but she returned it. For all
That's
4.
insane.
So they did 24 items, and Eddie's being charged for the 18. She's being charged for the 14. So somewhere in there, those other items, they couldn't figure out what they did with them. But isn't that crazy? How stupid. And he's a lawyer and wrote an email to his wife saying, list some more items. We need to get to that maximum.
I mean, all I can say is everyone is innocent until proven guilty, right?
Okay, all right.
That presumption of innocence. The thing that jumped out to me the most in your whole recitation of these facts was knowing immediately what was missing. Because in my experience in, burglary cases and, houses getting, knocked over and stuff, people often have a really hard time figuring out what's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing if somebody breaks into a safe and you may have taken a photo of your safe as it looks right before you close the door. So you have a visual inventory of what's in there. That's one thing, that makes sense. If all right, the safe's empty, all that stuff is gone. But being able to say these 24 items are missing from the house, that usually doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. It takes people a week to usually get back to the cops and go, okay, we figured it out. The one, game system is missing from the family room. This pair of fancy sunglasses we realized is not here. But you know what I mean? Generally, people have a hard time really identifying exactly what's missing.
So here's my insurance story. So I had diamond earrings that my husband gave me for my 10th anniversary. Okay. I wear them. Am I wearing them? No, I wear them all the time. So we went on a family vacation, come home. I only have one earring. It's like, oh my gosh. So called the hotel. Of course, no, we don't have it. And I was like, well, lucky day for somebody. So, it was crazy. So I waited and waited. I was like, it's going to fall out of a bag, or I'm going to remember where I put it, or like I stuck it in the fridge. Like something's going to happen. Right. Nothing ever happened. So finally, we get in touch with our guy, Alex, our insurance guy that we've had for 25 years, and filed the claim. So because we had the receipt and we had the appraisal from when he gave them to me, we had it all. So he gave us a check for the original price. No, I think the market value price of what the earrings were worth now. for 2 earrings because they only do it with pairs. And of course, me, I'm like, no, just give it for me for the one. He's like, no, they do it as a pair. So got the check, sits on the kitchen table because I'm terrible about remembering to take. I had to go to the bank. It was back before you could do it on your phone. I was like, whenever I'll get over there. Kept forgetting. That week, my husband was going on a work trip. He gets out, but it was like a longer trip, so he wasn't just taking his duffel. He puts the suitcase on the bed, flips it open, bing, hits the wall. My earring flies out of the suitcase and hits the wall. It had been in there the whole time. It had fallen out of my little pouch and was just loose in this big suitcase. And he was like, something just hit the wall. I was like, oh my God. So then, of course, now I'm like, they're going to think I've committed insurance fraud. I call Alex, our insurance guy, like on a Sunday night in a panic. And he goes, did you cash the check? I go, no, I didn't cash the check. He goes, then you're fine. I'll make a note that your claim is canceled. Rip the check. It's fine. And I was like, oh my God. I was so scared it's going to be like a slight on my reputation that I was like a liar. But he goes, happens all the time. He goes, and you didn't cash the check. So we're clear. I'm just going to cancel it out of the system. So I'm just thinking, imagine the stress if you would have done that with 24 items equaling over like $500,000, $500,000.
Yeah. I mean, good for you for being so honest too. You know, I feel like a lot of people just would have been like, panicked. Well, or who's going to know, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, let me tell you what, I did think about it, but I didn't want that to come back on me in some terrible way later.
No, totally. Know? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I keep going back to like that season of Housewives of Beverly Hills with Erica Girardi wearing those earrings.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Listen, but you think about all the break-ins on Housewives, right? There's the famous one in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Dorit, but they have ring footage of it.
Oh yeah. No, it was scary.
Teddy Mellencamp has had it. They have ring footage of these 2 guys jumping over, landing on her trash cans. Like, they've got ring footage of the people. Kyle, when all of her stuff got stolen, the house wasn't occupied yet. They had moved their stuff in, but they weren't in it yet. So nobody was there when the house got broken into, and they had no alarm system set up yet. Right. But when she talks about it, she goes, these were like things that my mother gave me, None of these people have ever been, and Dorit would be the one, but nobody else has ever come out and said, okay, well, this is insurance fraud. So I don't know if Wendy and Eddie, a lawyer, and Wendy has, her whole thing, Stacy, is she has like 5 degrees. She's a adjunct professor at Johns Hopkins University. These are not stupid people.
That's a very weird move for them.
Very weird. And to not even like, hey, we're going to pay somebody. We'll give them $10K to creep around our house. Just something, anything. They didn't do anything to make it look like a break-in. Nothing. Like the balls. And the fact that he's a lawyer and he just started a cannabis company too. And all they've been talking about on the show this season is how successful it is. But now you're going to wonder.
That's weird.
So are they going to trial, or what status is the case at?
Well, they went in and their mugshots are crazy. They look like they've been partaking of Happy Eddie cannabis. They both look stoned out of their gourd, and they have 3 kids. And again, these are very, very highly educated, smart people. And they bonded out or bailed out or whatever bond, I guess. And I think had their passports taken. And no, it's going to they're in the status of they're going to be taking them to court. So they're either going to have to plea out. But of course, her things have been like, thank you for all the well wishes. I'm home with my family now. Thanks for sending love and light. And we're like, girl, it's not. And she was so hard on Karen Huger, not hard on, but like everybody was hard on Karen Huger, another woman on that cast who went to jail because she had gotten her fifth DUI. And so she just got out of jail, another woman on that cast. And Wendy was friends with her. I'm like, well, you have to go to jail if you do bad things. My husband's a lawyer. And
well, gonna have to eat those words now, aren't you?
And it's a lot of chatter about, do some of these women do these things because they're trying to keep up with the lifestyle, right? They want to look like they have more money than they do to be on this show.
I just imagine for a second, if I was on one of these housewives shows, I would be like the poorest housewife possible because all I do is thrift. People would
Mhm.
literally be like, "What is happening with you?" I'd be bringing my own sandwiches and sandwiches. Like, I'd be pulling out stuff from my purse. They'd be making so much fun of me, and I don't care. Like, I wouldn't care at all. But I think you're right. I think there is definitely like a keeping up factor for some of them. You
Yeah.
know?
And like on I'm just trying okay, so Real Housewives of OC, we have Gina, and she's been on a while, and she, had a bad divorce and lived in a very small house with her boyfriend, and they each had 3 kids that all the kids weren't always there at the same time, but they literally had a bedroom for the boys and a bedroom for the girls. And everybody made fun of her. They're like, it's like going to camp over there. It's bunk beds everywhere, but they were living within their means, you
Right.
know? And now she just got a new house, which is a perfectly lovely, probably where she lives, $2 million house where anybody else lives. It'd probably be a $600,000 house, but it's a beautiful house. It's got like 4 bedrooms, and everybody's like, look at her little cute little, oh, her house is so cute. I'm like, when she owned that house where the kids all had the bunk beds, she was the only person on the cast that owned her home.
Right.
Everyone else rented.
Right. I mean, it's just like, but again, like if you go back to Salt Lake City, I mean, Lisa is also, she's so brutal with, is it Angie? Is she the one she's always
Yes.
talking about? Like,
Uh-huh.
she usually spends her vacations in a trailer. Oh, she's never been on a boat. This is gonna be so good for her. Like, it's so brutal the way she
It's
talks about her.
I've met Angie and her husband in real life again at the airport, and on the way home from BravoCon. So nice. The husband was so nice. So we at BravoCon give out, I don't have one here, and normally I have one right at the ready. We give out these poker chips. And I'm just looking. I can't believe I don't have one. Poker chips. And we went up to him and like, oh, we met you at the so-and-so. We gave you the fan, the poker chip, whatever. And her husband pulled out the poker chip from his pocket. He goes, I kept this. I thought this was so cool. They were so nice.
I'm sure.
She's tiny. She's tiny. Angie is tiny. I bet 5 feet tall. Tiny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see she's very petite. I mean, she's definitely charming. She can turn on the charm. She seems really nice. I mean, that scene with her dad, was so sweet.
Yeah.
Their relationship did seem really, really sweet. And, just kind of how she is with the crew on the boat. She's very charming.
Love Angie. Love Angie. I love her and Mary's friendship.
Oh my gosh. It's so interesting. I mean, she was so mad at her after that dinner, like so pissed off. And like, I was like, oh, that's the end of them. And then they definitely like came back together. But that whole argument when she came over and she's like, let's just, mend fences. She's like, I was mad at you because you were making fun of my farts. And I was dying at that conversation. I was like, what?
Because Angie's like, what?
I just, what? I mean,
But I gotta tell you, I would be mad about that too. I would be mad if I said, listen, I tooted, I'm sorry. And then if you brought it up for 45 more minutes, I'd be like, okay, I could have just blamed it on the dog. I was being honest.
Right.
But she kept bringing it up. I would be mad too. I'd be like, hey, you're trying to like make fun of me and embarrass me, and there's cameras here. And
right. Yeah.
And that's really what I'm mad about. You made fun of me passing gas. Mary talks about passing gas a lot, though. It's kind of her thing. She loves to talk about it. It's the opposite of me. I don't discuss it. So I was like, come on. But even on this episode with the Below Deck crossover, she goes in the bathroom and comes out and was like, woo!
Oh, yeah. No, she is fully, she's the one who's bringing it up. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard her talk about it many times.
She's like, now I'm ready to eat.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. It's like, oh, poor Angie's over there about to throw up, and you're talking about your pooping and you're eating. And every time they showed Angie, she's just laying like a mummy. Like, I'm not, they need to get her an IV of Zofran or something.
I know. What a nightmare. I mean, let me ask you a question about like Lisa and Meredith. When all of that came out and Lisa looks at Meredith and she was like, you better have backed me up. You better have not. I mean, she was so intense with this, like, and of course, and then Meredith is like backpedaling. I did. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, all she said was, we don't.
Sorry.
My massive dog is freaking out.
I'll mute you. Okay, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Christine.
I get the feeling that Meredith just doesn't want to get involved. She just wants to throw it under the rug. She doesn't want to have another fight with Lisa. She doesn't want to be on the offensive with her. She just wants to be like, well, we don't know, and we all just want to move forward.
Right, but that's not going to happen. And
Happen.
Lisa going, you better have had my back. You better have had my back. That was interesting because I was like, what's that about? Because Stacy, there have been other seasons, 3 seasons ago, where Lisa got caught on a hot mic. Stacy, this is why you have to go back. Lisa got caught on a hot mic. She went into the bedroom and she's speaking to her producer. And she goes, I can't believe Meredith did that. Meredith with her fake family that poses and she's fucked half in New York. She's the biggest whore. Da da da. Her fucking fake family. She talks about her family. She talks about her being a whore. She says she fucked half in New York. And it's bad. And then she comes out and pulls her microphone and goes, take this. I was like, too late, girl. Too late. So they've had some real problems, the two of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Lisa's a funny one because she's so, savage when she goes after people, but then she's so fragile too. She's crying. It's like she's cut to her core. Those are funny types of people where they're so, so aggressive and come on so strong, but then they're so hurt and so vulnerable. And, it's a funny contradiction that she's got going on.
I was worried about her sitting out on that dive pad off the back of the boat. I was like, girl. And at one point they showed it and they backed away. And I was watching it on my big television. I was like, are those fish?
Yes, or was there's so many fish.
It was fish, everywhere. Right?
Yeah. I was actually very surprised because on all the other episodes of Below Deck, they don't like when people are drinking and then that close to the water. They're usually like, you can't be out here. Can't really be, you got to be behind the barrier. So I was actually quite surprised they let her be out there. I don't think anyone wanted to touch her. I think everyone was scared after that.
Yeah, and then Brittany came out there, was crouching down. I was like, sit all the way down. You're going to fall. You're going to fall. And Stacey says, you don't know, you haven't watched, you don't know that Brittany's boyfriend is a wayward Osmond. He's Jared Osmond. He is a cousin of the Osmonds. Or he is a child of an Osmond, whatever. His last name is Osmond. And that's, of course, Mormon royalty. So that's why they're always like, this Jared guy is such a jerk. He looks just like the Osmonds. He's got that square head and the big teeth. Yeah, he looks just like them.
Talking unicorn stuffed animal was wild.
No.
We did see a preview that it ends up in the water. So somebody does get mad enough at her to throw it in the water. And she had on a very unfortunate top. In one, she was talking to Brahman in the closet. I took a picture of it. I was like, what? Somebody should have told her this doesn't look good. Let's see if I can pull it up so you guys can just see what I'm talking about. This was a very unfortunate top.
Yeah. I definitely thought it was going to come down.
I was like, what?
She kept
new boobs who dis, I get it, but yeah. So of this cast, if you had to go on a cruise and you could pick 2 people, who would it be?
I would pick Heather for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's definitely the nicest of all of them. And I'd probably pick I don't know. I feel like Whitney and I could get along. She just seems like she could just be easy and fun times, not a lot of drama. So I think they'd be the most fun to go with, although Mary would be hilarious. But I'm also afraid of Mary. I'm low-key afraid of Mary.
She would insult your outfits. She'd be like,
insult everything about me.
Like,
what are you bringing? Snacks on this boat? Get out of here.
Who told you to bring that?
Who told you that was good for you? You shouldn't be drinking that.
What about you, Stacy? Who would you bring?
I love Mary. I can't help it. I would say Mary, and I think I would probably go with Heather. I think Heather is just the coolest and the most relaxed, and down to earth. I think they would be good with each other too.
I think Heather is still from seasons past. Heather is still wary and afraid of Mary a little. You could tell by the way she talks to her. She's like, "Okay, Mary, thank you," because Stacy, in years past, Mary has called her inbred. She said, "You look inbred." And then Heather went to her house and said, "Now that we're friends, do you still think I look inbred?" And she's like, "Yeah, you do." She's called her fat. She's like, I mean,
Who
they
did
have
the
had
Shrek thing? Was that Mary
who?
or was that Lisa?
No, that was Jen Shaw,
Oh,
R.I.P.
that was
That
Jen
was Jen
Shaw.
Shaw. Mm-hmm.
That
Jen
was
Wait,
Shaw
so
said
weird.
called
she looked
Heather Shrek?
Shrek. Mm-hmm. Her best friend, Jen Shaw, said she looked like Shrek. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's
Jen
been a
Shaw.
lot of Mean Girl stuff that has been directed at Heather, and it's so sad because I feel like she's been through a lot in her life, like leaving the Mormon church. She's got the kids. She's just, I don't know. Just feel like I always felt bad for her. I felt like she was just such a nice person who just, I think, was so excommunicated from her own family. And that's got to be really hard, even if that's what you choose. So
I liked Heather at the beginning of the season when they were on that camping trip. I liked that she was honest and said, her last child was going to college and she was ready for the break. She was like, "I'm not sad about it." And I felt that way when both of my kids went away. I mean, one came right back, but both of my kids went away to college and I didn't feel that, "What am I going to do? I have to talk to them every day. I got to check and see what they're eating." And oh my God, I didn't feel that way. I was like, okay, good. I get a little break, and maybe that is a selfish part of me, but you think like, I remember the last day my son went to high school and I thought I never have to make a school lunch again. It was such a good feeling. It's the same thing I've talked about on the show. The day that you realize you don't have to get in the pool anymore with your kids, like the day that you don't have to get in the pool because they can swim and you don't have to get in the pool. These are like milestones where you're like, okay, I'm actually going to be able to sit and read my book, or I don't have to get up at 6:30 to make a school lunch that he's not going to eat anyway. He's going to leave school and go to Five Guys, So I felt for her because I felt like Bronwyn had such an opposite thing where Bronwyn's like, "I had my kids so little and had so many hard years that I want to keep my daughter close." And that's fine too. That's everybody. It was because I have friends who are just like heartbroken about their kids going to college.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, I don't care that much. I'm like, I just, they're gonna be home, and maybe because my kids went to camp for a month in the summer that I'm more used to it. That was hard because they were little. But they're, 20 and 22 years old, and if they're gone for a week, all right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I'm checking in. It's not like I don't have them on location. I can locate them anytime I want.
You also have a very full life, Mary Payne. You have a lot of other children in the Bravo and world, so you have to look after them.
Well, yeah. And I think, but I mean, like Heather has a very full life, and I think Bronwyn has a very full life. She's got to deal with that terrible, terrible husband, and that terrible, terrible mother, and she's got all those rescue dogs that poop all over her house.
Okay,
can we
can we talk about Muzzy?
Sure.
Muzzy is freaking brutal. I could not. I again, there's so many things from this season of the show that I am not over. When she informed Bronwyn that in order for her to, I don't know, come into her own in her life or to become successful, she needed a dime. Talking about the husband, I about died when she said that. Muzzy's rough.
Muzzy's terrible. And you think, okay, so here she finds herself, in a very strict religious situation where she got pregnant and all that. And that was shameful for the family. But her mom has not let it go. And the kid's 19. And by the way, she's right there. The kid's right there. And you're just like talking so awful about it. Like, obviously it turned out okay. So she's just an asshole. She's a bad person. Poor Bronwyn.
Nice.
I really felt for Bronwyn in those scenes. I just felt like, wow, this is a mom that if she has that kind of tender feeling towards her daughter, she just doesn't let her see it at all. It was just, I felt like Bronwyn just still so wants that approval and and just not gonna get it. And when they cut back to Muzzy in that scene where they were talking about the daughter and the teen pregnancy and stuff, she had this triumphant look on her face as though she was happy that Bronwyn was so, kind of vulnerable there and looking for her approval. It was really, really rough.
Muzzy needs to get out of there. But I know Ron mentioned other sisters. I'm like, go stay with the other sisters. Like, get out of here. You're the same age as her husband. He's mean to her. You're mean to her. Like, I think Bronwyn should move to New York, join that franchise, and live her life. Be Sex in the City. That's what I think.
Yeah, if the other sisters are so great because they didn't get pregnant until they were married, well, good. Then go be with the ones that you approve of, for God's sake.
They probably don't want her either. And you have to wonder, the sisters too were probably poisoned against Bronwyn as their sister because she's like the slut sister. So they were probably their whole life like, don't give Bronwyn any attention, and Bronwyn's daughter isn't, as good as our daughter. I mean, it's so layered, and it's the religious trauma and the parental. It's a lot with Bronwyn, and I think she's great Housewives material. She's just damaged enough.
Oh God. And then when Muzzy said the thing when they were talking about the dad and, he's in memory care right now with his Alzheimer's and all this. And then she says, you're going to be going through this with Tom soon.
Todd. Yes.
Todd. Sorry. Todd.
Yeah.
Again, I was shocked. I'm not over it.
Yeah. And she's like, God only hopes I'll go through it with you soon so you can remember how to be nice. Maybe you'll become a different person with a different personality. Muzzy.
It's not surprising that she just is looking for love and acceptance everywhere she can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what all of that's about. I feel bad for her kid. I feel bad for like what happened between them.
Yeah.
It just seems like she's just constantly been, looking for stability in that way, and it's ruined a lot of her relationships because of it. It's sad.
I'd love to get her sisters on camera, just to kind of like Richard's sisters on Beverly Hills, kind of see what's doing there, because you got Kathy Hilton, the Kyle Richards, and the Kim Richards, and you get that in a room, and you're like, wow, yeah. And I'm one of 3 sisters, and we've got stories. All right, everybody, you got to go and check out Keanan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu, because they talk about step by step. Now, as I told you last time, this show, I know it, but it was 91 to 98. So I graduated college in 91, guys. So this wasn't on my radar so much as like Friends or Seinfeld was. But I do know about the show because, of course, Patrick Duffy was on there. So hot. So has he come on? Who are the, like, obviously Suzanne Summers has passed, but has Patrick Duffy come on y'all's show to talk about episodes?
Yes. We had him on last season for a Christmas special. So exciting. And then we're going to have another little snippet of him. He and his girlfriend, Linda Pearl, they started a bread company called Duffy's Dough.
And what a great name.
Cool. Yeah. And so it just hit like many Kroger's throughout. It's sort of like a Newman's Own. They give all of their proceeds, all of their profits back to food stability charities. And so we did a whole thing. This was last year when they were doing prototypes and getting it out there. And he came over and we made from the starter in the kit, we made pancakes. And we did a whole video with him. So we're actually going to release that right before Christmas, I think.
Okay, so he gives you the starter, because I don't understand about the starter. Everybody's like, you got to have the starter. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Can I just make bread? No, you got to have a starter.
Well, in the kit, they had a starter, they had the flour, they had the sugar, everything for you to basically make your own bread. And then I think as this went on and they got their deal with Kroger, they just decided, we're just going to set up a big kitchen. And with your starter, we will just bake the bread. So I think they have now, it's more like take and bake.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Delicious. It's my favorite kind of bread.
Stacy, I'd like to know what is happening at your house.
Sorry. Unfortunately, gardeners have shown up. So we have just a never-ending construction next door. And now we've added gardeners on top of that, on top of the woodpecker, on top of my 500-pound dog who has the loudest bark in the world. Now we're throwing gardeners on top. So, it just keeps getting better here at Mary Payne, production-wise.
Well, while we were recording, I had the guy that's coming to replace our AC unit pounding above my head, walking up there and I was like, okay. And I'm like muting you and I'm like, listen, you guys, it doesn't matter because we
I
did it.
couldn't hear him at all. So
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It was so loud to me. Well, again, this was the perfect episode to talk to you guys about because you're below deck aficionados. And so this is going to be on Below Deck Australia, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
down under.
so whatever that island is an Australian island? Question mark?
I don't know exactly. No. It was they do, I mean, they generally are off the coast of Australia, but I think this is like adventure is what it's
Okay.
it can be anywhere.
It's too many iterations for me. And then they had the
Yes.
sailing yacht and then
Sailing yacht. That's a great
No.
one. I really enjoy the sailing yacht.
Okay, well, I want to make sure I watch the episode, which is the flip side of this.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
Oh,
That's
so
what I
we're going to
wanna
get
see.
some real tea, I think, on how everybody viewed them.
Yeah, and that's good for me too to sometimes watch some of the below deck shows because the people do show up at BravoCon, and people are going up to them like, "Who's that? Who's
Yeah.
that?" I recognize Aisha. I recognize
Oh,
Aisha.
Aisha. Yep.
Mhm. With the weirdest voice of all time. It's
Crazy
speaking of
as
somebody who likes to talk about pooping.
Yeah.
That girl loves to talk about pooping.
And for those of you out there, if you have not yet checked out the Reality Gaze and their coverage of all the below deck stuff, it is so funny. Their ongoing kind of, I don't know, love hate, whatever you want to call it, with Captain Sandy is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
You have to check it out if you are a fan of that franchise. But you will, believe me, you will not be disappointed. I love those two.
That is so funny. You know, Matt is my best friend.
I know. I'm jealous of him too. I hear all about the texting and we're drinking wine and we're watching a show together. And I'm like, I'm over here. I'm over here. I have a phone that I could text. I could drink a glass of wine and watch a show.
Matt was with me when I almost died. Wasn't that fun?
Oh
Good
my
for him.
God.
Yeah, good.
He
for
was
him.
there.
Mm-hmm. He and Ingrid were there with me at Bald Head Island. They had been there like 7 hours, and I was like, let's go. We're going to get our wine. We're going to go in the golf cart. We're going to go see some alligators. And we went to do that. And then that's when it hit me. Yeah, they were there. And so they each stayed 1 or 2 more days. And then they were like, well, she's not getting out of the hospital. So they left.
Oh my God.
They were hanging out with my husband and the dogs while I was in the ICU. Yeah. He was there.
It's so stressful. I'm so
You
glad
really
you're
are.
Thank you.
Same. I mean, you're a miracle person, right? Isn't it the case that no one survives that? And you did? Practically no one?
It's yeah, what I had was 1 in 10 million, the guy told me. And then the author, Sebastian Junger, wrote a book about it. Something about dying, and somebody gave it to me. I go, I'm not going to read that. I'm good. I did it. I don't need to read about it. But I guess he had, saw his dad and saw the light, and, it sort of turned him. I guess the premise of the book is that he was an atheist before. And then he had this near-death experience with the same type of aneurysm that I had. Yeah. But he didn't die, so that's good. I'm in good company there.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. So anyway, that was neither here nor there. But you guys did send me a nice card, so thank you. That was very nice. I like Vicky Gumbelson and OC. All I wanted was a casserole. But I didn't get any. Nobody sent me a casserole. That's okay. I couldn't have eaten it anyway. You guys make sure you're checking. Thank you. Now, is the podcast, is Keanan and Lakin give you deja vu, or is it just deja vu? Is Keanan and Lakin?
Yes.
Okay. And is deja vu meaning because you're talking about the show, or was that a catchphrase on the show?
No, we're talking about the show. We're talking about the 90s. We're talking about stuff that like you'd remember from your childhood or adolescence, but that feel like it's just a world away. Like we talk a lot about, analog. When life was analog.
Dial-up.
What was the vibe back then, and what were the things we did, and how did we behave, and how did we communicate, and what was funny, and
talk about the fashions,
fashion, all of it.
Yeah.
Very much so. Our podcast is, yes, we recap step by step, but we also have, we tell the behind the scenes stories because we were there. And the whole thing is kind of a coming of age story about, growing up in front of the cameras in the 90s.
Stacy, thank you so much.
Mary Payne, it is as always, a total thrill. I am going to send you my number, and I hope that
Okay.
we can become text friends. That would
We
be a
will.
huge dream of mine. And yeah, if we're still, podcasting right now, check us out. We're at Keanan and Lakin on Instagram.
Yes. Check them out, guys. Follow them on Instagram too. Then you can get all the behind the scenes stuff.